Major warning to all the Bonk coin holders out there in the world, or is it even Bonk coin? I don't know. Maybe it's just Bonk. Who knows? Who knows? It doesn't matter. As I do want to go over some very, very high term time frame ideas relative to this asset, or if you can even call it that, as it does come into some pretty interesting areas, let's say. Other than that, we'll talk about some Bitcoin action. And first things first, I want to welcome you back to the Krown Crypto channel. It's nice little Saturday morning, just getting my day started over here. I want to give a shout out to the Meta Signals as they have posted this setup in their Discord for the Doggy coin. The Doggy coin, I believe, is also Uni as well. Doggy, another meek. We got Doggy and Bonk. Oh, that's a great fucking start to this one. But just wanted to say that this one, at the time of this posting or the time of the screenshot, was at, I think, like target 1 or target 2. They are now like well on their way to target 3, which just want to give a heads up on that as that one does slowly but surely play out, and also give a bit of a warning as well, because I am an investor for Meta Signals, and I do have a bit of an ear into what's going on in the background, and they are actually considering stopping their NFT sales, or maybe not stopping them, but pausing them, it sounds like, as they want to focus on development for short signals. Actually, right now they just have long signals. They do have short ones planned, but it sounds like, and again, I'm just kind of relaying information here. It sounds like they probably don't need to sell too many more NFTs, although they haven't sold out as well. So I would just say that if you're on the fence and you do want that lifetime access, it might be worth considering, because once that goes off, like I don't believe that they're going to have another way to be doing that in the future. Just a monthly subscription, which I know how everyone feels about that. All right, sweet. Let's start it off right over here with some Bonk coin action. First things first, big warning on the HPDRV. So that is volatility, aka the dispersion of returns, as we always like to say. And we are starting to see extreme levels coming in from Thursday. We actually saw 100 percentile yesterday, but I didn't record the video at that time. It was just intraday there for a second, and now kind of coming back down. So this is a damn good indication that we are at a major turning point on this particular asset. You typically mark your major highs and your major lows with extreme volatility. Now you're probably saying, but Krown, why? Why didn't that happen over here in November when it spiked up, quite significantly as well? I mean, to be fair, the one that we just saw was a 99 percentile read. This one over here was 90 plus as well. Isn't that good enough? Well, yeah, you would think so. However, it was a different, it was a different piece, or a different, what's that I'm looking at? It was a different overall regime of what was going on there, in the sense that while volatility was high during that time, price action was not in as much of an outlier situation as it is right now. Right now, or as of the past day, this one, Bonk, did wick up all the way into the 95% of historic returns range high region, actually between the 90 and 95%, which is, like, it doesn't happen very often, or at all, as the numbers would imply. Did happen over here relatively briefly, but again, that was not on extreme volatility reads that we did see, that we're seeing kind of over here, more or less. Also, if you are a candle watcher, you got a shooting star here as well, just big wick to the upside, and that is signaling that we are starting to find some sellers. And then of course you also have, the Bonk has a major event. What happened? It got listed on Coinbase. So typically these sort of events are sell the news events. I mean, what really is the purpose of being listing on an exchange anyways? Just another place to sell to unsuspecting buyers. But ultimately those do typically mark, major highs and major lows. Now, here's the thing. I do think that this one could maybe even wick up a little bit higher than where it's already at. Looking at HPDRV, when we see extremes like this, it typically maintains extreme levels for like a few ticks at least. So during that time, you might see another wick up, maybe even quite deep. Actually, this one got pretty damn up there yesterday. So I would say that maybe it gets over to like 400,000, something like that. It's possible, but I wouldn't be looking for any sustained price action there. I'd be looking for yet another quick rejection if we haven't really seen that already, to be fair. I mean, that it could be this right here, but being that it is a weekend, you might see some spiky price action, maybe on Monday, one more try. But ultimately, this one's very, 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 very close, if not already, to already putting in a major high for quite some time. Now, I'm not saying that it can't go higher over time. Maybe it does, but let's put things into perspective here. This thing has rallied from the lows unabated from basically middle of October, so about 2 months now. Nearly What is this? Oh, sorry, I'm not even getting the whole damn thing there. All right, let's do this properly. About 20,000%. Almost to the exact T there as well, which is pretty fucking crazy. So, just like intuitively, it's getting a little bit crazy, I guess. I don't know. Nah, it's fine. It's going to go more. No, again, this one, very, very, very close to be done, if not already. Basically, what I'm saying is that I wouldn't really expect any consistent daily closures higher than what you saw of the high from yesterday, Friday, the 15th, that is, of December, for any prolonged period. I'd be looking for a consolidation sideways here and then tip on over, probably coming into end of next week. Looking at our other tools, we can see that on the daily, many drives of bearish divergence starting to form. We have obviously these drives coming in from early in November, but we can see yet more forming in December and basically here in middle of December as well. So, when this one does want to turn down, it's going to turn down pretty fucking fast and pretty harshly, and I suspect that you'll find it likely somewhere around this region in like a month, maybe even less than that. Of course, we also do see that the Joule oscillator is turning down here as well. It's not really getting like a full-on sell signal just yet. So that is why I do say like maybe there's one more try to the upside, but I really wouldn't be looking for like majorly new highs. If I'm wrong on that, I'm wrong on that. Fair enough, can always happen, or is always always possible. But it's not really me being wrong. It's just I'm just looking at statistics right here. It's extremely fucking unlikely that we're going to see consistent closures above this region alongside volatility reads like this. That's just probabilities. So looking at it right here and just kind of speaking a little bit more offhand, it's not really good to be like a pocket watcher of someone else and like tell someone how to manage their positions. I'm not your dad. I'm not your mom. I'm not here to tell you what the fuck to do. I'm just saying it's quite unlikely that we're going to see more on this one in the near future on any like sustained basis. Anyways, I think that's good enough for the old Bonk coin right there. Let's go over into Bitcoin using the same tools. We can see the HPDR bands. Still not seeing that median come down for Bitcoin. So, as long as it's below there, risk does remain to the downside. Personally speaking, I do actually think Bitcoin's going to pull through here. But at the end of the day, if we're just reading it off of these tools, I would say that, hey, Bitcoin being below that median, that is a corrective posture. Now we are quite literally seeing a correction here over the past 1, 2, 3, 4, working on day number 5. So, maybe that's all it's going to be. But ultimately, I would not be looking for Bitcoin to be floating back up towards new highs on this rally with targets in mind of like 46,500, maybe even 47,000 bucks until Bitcoin's closing above that median. Now, that median will very likely shift big time down today. So I would be looking at that as soon it'll be somewhere around like 43,000 bucks, I would guess. And then assuming that Bitcoin doesn't dump it all to hell in the next 48 hours, then it should come down to 42 and a half in about 2 days, maybe 3 days. But ultimately, if Bitcoin can start to reclaim those levels and we do see that medium come down, okay, that's going to be my sort of indication that, hey, this was a bear trap. Things are ready to walk back on up, walk back on up. Probably somewhere between 46,500 to 47,000 bucks. And personally speaking, I do think I'm still kind of aligned with that. But again, just reading the tools over here, still in a corrective posturing. If Bitcoin does essentially break the current lows, look for a move down below 39,000 bucks before the next sort of potential bounce. And personally speaking, I do think that it would be just that, a bounce. If things were to break down from here, you'd probably see an overall move down to 37 or 36.5 region. But again, I do think that just personally, just my intuition, a little bit less likely. But again, I do not trade my intuition. I'd be broke if I did over time for sure. But in this case, seeing that Bitcoin is kind of still holding within this region without fully breaking down, as things do kind of coalesce and we do see volatility cool off and directional volatility also kind of go back to neutral, slightly negative, but mostly neutral. I do look at this as it is starting to shape up more and more to be a potential higher term time frame trap, not just short term time frame trap, which we discussed a few days ago. Anyways, I think that's good enough for this particular video. Like I said, I'm going to upload a video later today, most likely on just strategy breakdown, which you can use yourself if you so desire. And yeah, other than that, I want to welcome you back. We're starting over again. I did it again. I'm not even underslept today as well. It's just a fucking it's like an autopilot. As always, I'd like to wish you the best. Take care. Much love. and see you hopefully later today.